Hezekiah trusted the Lord when Assyria besieged Jerusalem. The angel of death struck down the enemy army. The king was healed from deadly illness and given 15 more years. But he showed Babylon's envoys all his treasures, and Isaiah prophesied that one day everything would be carried off to Babylon. Now Hezekiah is dead, and his son takes the throne. Manasseh is 12 years old when he becomes king. He reigns in Jerusalem for 55 years, longer than any other king of Judah. He does evil in the eyes of the Lord, following the detestable practices of the nations the Lord had driven out before the Israelites. He rebuilds the high places his father Hezekiah had demolished. He erects altars to Baal. He makes an Asherah pole, just as Ahab, king of Israel, had done. He bows down to all the starry hosts and worships them. He builds altars in the temple of the Lord, the house where God said he would put his name forever. In both courts of the temple he builds altars to all the starry hosts. He sacrifices his own son in the fire. He practices divination, seeks omens, and consults mediums and spiritists. He does much evil in the eyes of the Lord, arousing his anger. He takes the carved Asherah pole he has made and puts it in the temple. The temple of Solomon, the house where the Lord promised to dwell, now contains an idol. Manasseh leads Judah astray. He seduces them to do more evil than the nations the Lord destroyed before Israel. The Lord speaks through his servants the prophets. Manasseh, king of Judah, has committed these detestable sins. He has done more evil than the Amorites who preceded him, and has led Judah into sin with his idols. Therefore, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says: I am going to bring such disaster on Jerusalem and Judah that the ears of everyone who hears of it will tingle. I will stretch out over Jerusalem the measuring line used against Samaria and the plumb line used against the house of Ahab. I will wipe out Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. I will forsake the remnant of my inheritance and give them into the hands of enemies. They will be looted and plundered by all their enemies. Manasseh also sheds so much innocent blood that he fills Jerusalem from end to end. The city runs red. Prophets are killed. Righteous men are murdered. Tradition says that Isaiah himself was sawn in two during this reign. The son of Hezekiah has become worse than Ahab. For 55 years Manasseh rules in darkness. Then the Lord brings against Judah the army commanders of the king of Assyria. They take Manasseh prisoner. They put a hook in his nose, bind him with bronze shackles, and take him to Babylon. In his distress, Manasseh seeks the favor of the Lord his God. He humbles himself greatly before the God of his ancestors. He prays, and God is moved by his plea. He listens. He brings Manasseh back to Jerusalem and to his kingdom. Then Manasseh knows that the Lord is God. After this, he rebuilds the outer wall of the city of David. He puts military commanders in all the fortified cities. He removes the foreign gods and the image from the temple of the Lord. He removes all the altars he had built on the temple hill and in Jerusalem. He throws them out of the city. He restores the altar of the Lord and sacrifices fellowship offerings and thank offerings on it. He tells Judah to serve the Lord, the God of Israel. The people continue to sacrifice at the high places, but only to the Lord their God. Manasseh reigns for 55 years and dies. He is buried in his palace garden. The pattern is strange and unsettling. The worst king of Judah, who did more evil than the nations God had destroyed, repents and is restored. God accepts his prayer. Judgment is delayed. This is the scandal of mercy, that no sinner is beyond reach, that even the man who burned his son and filled Jerusalem with blood can cry out and be heard. God does not want the death of the wicked, but that they turn and live. But the damage is not undone. Individual repentance does not erase corporate corruption. Manasseh humbled himself and God forgave him. But Judah has been poisoned. The sins of Manasseh have seared the nation. A generation has grown up in idol worship. The blood of the innocent cries from the ground. The prophets have already pronounced the verdict. The trajectory toward destruction is set, and even genuine repentance cannot reverse what has been done to the soul of a people. Manasseh's son Amon becomes king at the age of 22. He reigns for 2 years. He does evil in the eyes of the Lord as his father Manasseh had done. He worshipped and offered sacrifices to all the idols Manasseh had made. But unlike his father, Amon does not humble himself before the Lord. Amon's officials conspire against him. They assassinate him in his palace. The people of the land kill all who had conspired against King Amon. They make his son Josiah king in his place. Josiah is 8 years old. A child sits on the throne of David. The nation has been corrupted for decades. The prophets have warned that destruction is coming. But God is not finished with Judah. Not yet. Thank you for listening. In the next video, the young King Josiah will launch the greatest reform in Judah's history. A lost book will be found in the temple, and the nation will have one last chance to turn back.